Ian.
4 named storms.
4 named storms.
2 named today.
And that is fall in Florida.
That's it. That's
Wow.
it. Talk about peak of hurricane season, Nadine. You know, we had a little bit of a break, and there she goes, just like that. We have her mean at 5 p.m., thankfully in the far eastern Atlantic, never a threat to us. And then, of course, we have Ian in the course of the last few minutes. So the very latest, of course, of Ian, because this is the system that will be affecting the Florida Peninsula. Right now, still just a cluster of thunderstorms, kind of a weak tropical storm, but that won't be the case for long. As of 11 o'clock, sustained winds of 40 miles per hour, gusts of 50. Central pressure down 1 millibar, still moving toward the west-northwest. Gradually over the weekend, we'll see it turn more toward the northwest. It's not going to be affecting Jamaica directly. Nonetheless, still tropical storm watch in effect there. And now we have a hurricane watch in effect for the Cayman Islands, as we are expecting it to become a Category 1 hurricane heading toward the weekend. Then prior to landfall in western Cuba, it could become as strong as a Category 2 and continue its way across Cuba into the southeastern Gulf of Mexico, further intensifying, but a couple of changes over the last couple of tracks. Now keep in mind, we receive these new cones in at 5 and 11 o'clock. So 4 times a day, and then in between those hours at 2 and 8 o'clock, we receive what we call intermediate advisories, which basically give us an update on the location as well as the strength. That's generally data generated by the hurricane hunters. Of course, they have multiple missions forecast over the weekend, but the latest cone, a little bit of a switch up here since 5 o'clock. We're now starting to see that center line shift farther off toward our north and west. Any movement away from southwest Florida, of course, a good thing, but let's keep in mind just how huge this cone is at day 5. It is about 455 miles across, so still a lot of uncertainty this far out. This is a system that we need to watch, we need to be prepared for, but it's not something that I'm necessarily worried about just yet. We have plenty of time to monitor, we do have plenty of time to prepare, so now is the time to make sure those hurricane kits are nice and fresh just in case. Tropical storm watch is in effect now for Jamaica. Hurricane watch is in effect for the Cayman Islands. Of course, those will likely be upgraded as we see that storm further intensify. And here are your weather headlines. As you head to bed tonight, this is what you need to know pushing into the weekend. That system will continue to intensify. It'll likely be upgraded to hurricane status, especially as we head towards Sunday into Monday. Now, the track can and will shift as new data arrive, and we receive that new data again every 3 to 6 hours. So be sure to check in with us. Check in with fox4now.com. You'll have all those updated graphics automatically there for you under the tropics section. That way you can stay updated. Check in with us at least once a day over the weekend. I know we have a lot of fun things planned, but you want to make sure you stay abreast of the situation. Now, even if Southwest Florida doesn't take a direct hit, we could still feel impacts, so that's something to keep in mind as well. Meanwhile, Fiona, technically now post-tropical, nonetheless still a powerhouse of a system as it works its way into eastern Canada, packing a punch equivalent of a Category 2 hurricane. Tropical storm Gaston, not a concern to the U.S., nor is our mean, but there's one other wave we're watching here in the central Atlantic. It does hold a 30% chance of further development, so certainly something we'll be watching very closely. Heading into tomorrow morning, nice quiet start, lots of sunshine first half of the day, but heading into the afternoon, do stay vigilant. We'll have some isolated showers and storms in the mix, but at this point, rain probability Saturday at just 30%. Boaters tomorrow, northerly winds 10 to 15 knots, Gulf seas around 2 feet or so. 7-day forecast showing off afternoon scattered storms back in the mix Sunday, with higher rain chances, of course, arriving next week with the potential for those tropical conditions.